The commander of Ukraine's Navy, Vice Admiral Oleksii Neizhpapa, said operations targeting gas production platforms near Crimea will continue, describing the rigs in the Black Sea as key observation points for Russian forces. In early December, Ukraine used naval drones and other weapons to strike gas platforms near Crimea, which Russian forces had equipped with surveillance systems. Navy Commander Vice Admiral Oleksii Neizhpapa told ArmyInform, "We cannot allow the enemy to monitor our civilian or military ships or gain awareness of the situation at sea." Neizhpapa said, adding that while Russian special forces remain on the platforms, their capabilities are limited to air support via helicopters. Ukraine regained control of nearby drilling platforms in a September 2023 operation, and monitoring reports in August 2024 noted fires on the towers, though the cause remains unclear. He spoke about depriving Russia of dominance in the Black Sea during 2022 to 2024. Overall, this is a fruitful work of all the defense forces of Ukraine. The first such successful experience was the use of the Neptune missile complex. And then, during a joint operation of the Navy and the SBU, we used sea drones kamikazes, which entered the Sevastopol Bay. At that time, it was a sensation because no one had done anything like this before. Interestingly, on October the 29th, 1914, even at the same time, the so-called Sevastopol wake-up call took place when Turkish ships approached the city and attacked it with naval guns. A century has passed, and we attacked the enemy in our Sevastopol with sea drones, he said. In addition, it is worth highlighting the strikes of our Air Force with missiles from partners Storm Shadow and Scalp. This is a rather fruitful, multi-stage, joint work involving absolutely all the defense forces of Ukraine, which allowed us to first deprive the ships of the Russian fleet of the opportunity to operate in the western part of the Black Sea, and later we forced them to withdraw from the bays of occupied Sevastopol and to Novorossiysk. We also made the Sea of Azov dangerous for maneuvers, he added. According to him, naval drones are a revolutionary way, but not a panacea for war at sea. Of course, they are dangerous for the enemy, but they are also preparing something similar to strike at us. The enemy already has certain developments, but the war continues. We are also improving our technologies, Oleksii Neizhpapa said.
Footage has been released, showing destroyed armored fighting vehicles belonging to the Russian army in Russia's border Kursk region. As can be seen from the footage taken from the drone, the military equipment that was destroyed by Ukrainian army with the use of various weapons has spread over a wide area. Among the destroyed military equipment are 30 armored personnel carriers and infantry fighting vehicles, 2 tanks, 28 wheeled vehicles and 2 special vehicles, which were destroyed by the 36th Marine Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in recent days. It should be noted that Russia has intensified its attacks on Ukrainian army positions with the involvement of North Korean soldiers in Kursk region. Along the advancing North Korean infantrymen, armored combat vehicles that accompany them are also destroyed as a result of the artillery and drone strikes of the Ukrainian army. Around 100 injured North Korean soldiers have been hospitalized in Kursk following hostilities in the past few days.
On the border with Estonia, the Russians are trying to show that the Baltic states are under the sights and could be next. They have started to organize large-scale provocations according to the Telegraph. For example, a blimp was recently spotted on the Russian-Estonian border, which was initially ignored by Estonia. However, the next day, Russia escalated and painted the letter Z on the blimp associated with Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. According to the Director General of the Estonian Police, Egert Belitsev, Russians organize provocations of this kind almost every week. It was intentionally made visible to everyone to say, "We are watching you," Belitsev said. According to Estonian border guards, tensions on the border with Russia have increased dramatically in recent months. Russia has intensified actions such as protests against the West, attempts to smuggle weapons parts, and jamming GPS signals. Russia has been sending waves of migrants from Asia across the border and ominous pranks with aerial devices like the one mentioned above. 2 years ago, we had 18 border incidents, and this year we had 96, Belitsev said. Narva, which sits across the Narva River from Russia, has experienced a sharp rise in border incidents in recent months. Estonian border forces have reported Russian guards removing border markers, Russian aircraft performing risky stunts, and attempts to smuggle weapons parts across the border. Located on NATO's eastern border, Estonia has become the constant target of hybrid warfare tactics employed by Russia, with the Kremlin sending in surveillance blimps on an almost weekly basis and removing Estonian border infrastructure in the dead of night. Everything that is on the other side of the border. I wouldn't use the term free world to describe that, says Egert Belitsev, Director General of the Estonian Border Force. Relations between Estonia and Russia have deteriorated amid the war in Ukraine. Estonia actively supports Ukraine, providing aid and calling for tougher sanctions against Russia. Tallinn has also increased defense spending due to threats to the Baltic region. Russia responded with anti-Estonian rhetoric, expulsion of diplomats, and suspension of transit and economic cooperation agreements. Tensions have escalated over border demarcation, the dismantling of Soviet monuments, and Estonia's support for Ukraine's accession to NATO. On August the 8th, Estonia introduced enhanced customs control at all border crossings with Russia. Narva, Luhamaa, and Koidula. The innovations are aimed at preventing sanctioned goods from entering Russia.